No More Heroes 3 has to be, at the same time, the most disappointing and satisfying game I've ever played. It plays like the main entries and has all the same elements that were present in each game, and even the spin-off Travis Strikes Again. Things from all games are brought back on play. Unfortunately, it also brings back all the flaws that were present in every iteration. You have hit and miss side missions that are required to get enough money for the entry fee. There's a big and empty open world with collectibles you don't care about. You have skills that are on cooldown. Even worse, there's some flaws that were not here previously. Having enough money is not the only requirement. You also need to have done all the mandatory fights, a bit like No More Heroes 2. There's also surprisingly no levels. You jump straight into the boss fight. In 2, when some of the bosses were skipped, it was understandable that the 50 promise were not going to be there. However, you still ended up with 15, compared to the 9 in the first game. Here, 4 of the bosses are skipped. Once, 2 in a row even. Yes, they have a boss stealing their place, but the endless bait and switch is often a killjoy given that they have cool designs and are well acted. There is also the issue of the graphical performance. It's not that graphics don't matter, it's that they're secondary to gameplay and can enhance the experience, but it doesn't make the experience. There is a really fun game, but boy is it rough visually. It doesn't boast the deep shadows of 1 or even the lighter shadows of 2. Instead, it looks more like the HD ports. Those ports at least were on the next-gen consoles of the time, so they boasted better graphics, despite the less appealing art style. Not here. The game has the worst visual aspects of all the other games. It looks plasticky, the lighting is screwed, and there's low quality textures all over the place, and a low frame rate in the open world. It's not awful to look at, it still has a sense of style, but the production values have something left to be desired. Gameplay wise, again, not much has changed, but everything is here, but not to the same extent. You have the sword, the wrestling, and the roulette. Except that you only have one sword. The wrestling is more free form, and the roulette more elaborate, even letting you use 2 of Travis's armors, but some decisions are weird. Especially the open world that is as empty as it once was. Slightly less, but not encouraging enough to explore, and because of that you will miss things. Why explore at all when most of the world is empty, and the fact that there's a pretty harsh limit on the draw distance doesn't help you into finding the objects that are scattered around or that you put yourself, like the trees that you can plant. There's not really any reason to go about until you realize that while there's a bit more than meets the eye, but yeah, do you really want to put the extra effort into finding a lot of useless things? In the end, I do say that yes, the game was enjoyable enough for that, and I surprised myself into trying to find more quests and objects, but it could be better handled. The rest is fun. The story might be redundant at first, going for gags that were out of date when the game was being developed, but it goes back to pure pseudo weirdness not too long after. It feels authentic to his first efforts. The music is head-bobbing as usual. Even my mother loved the soundtrack. It's all to be expected from Suda. It really feels like a return to form. Despite all the flaws, it's still fun. Heck, I enjoyed it more than Astral Chain. It was a more consistent experience. If you're a Suda fan and have yet to play this, I recommend it. If you're not, but you're a gamer, you might appreciate this unpolished jank, but solid mess. And if you're not a consistent gamer, well, you stay away.
Kill Mr. Black Hole.